Hey Canonites, welcome back for a quickie video. Today a new comic was announced that would focus on Linda-058, everyone's favorite redheaded sniper. Titled Lone Wolf because Linda is the original Lone Wolf Spartan, the description provided to comicbook.com reads, Halo Lone Wolf finds Linda on a dangerous covert mission without her team. Her skills in infiltration and marksmanship make her perfect for the high-stakes mission to end the threat posed by a wanted scientist on a distant planet. With only an Oni AI at her side, Linda must fight through the dregs of the Covenant and the hostility of a lost human settlement to stop the rogue scientist in his tracks. An interesting description, to say the least. Linda was always the lone wolf of the Spartan 2s and made sniping seem like an art. Probably her most notable feat is during Operation First Strike, just after the events of Halo CE, when she sniped 7 Banshee pilots out of their craft through a small slit between the canvas and the body. This, while only using one hand, hanging upside down, having just been brought back from the dead days before. To quote one of my favorite channels, badass good girl. Now, I'm not expecting anything that crazy, but I do hope that the writer and artists take full advantage of Linda's skill set. This is a comic, there should be no excuse not to show Linda off. Getting back to the plot, we can see that Linda is chasing down a wanted scientist on a planet occupied by Covenant forces and the hostility of a lost human settlement. The cover art shows Linda in her Gen 2 Argus armor, meaning this is a story set after the Human Covenant War. Even if the armor is her Mark 6 Argus, she only got that upon returning to Earth and would literally have had no time to undertake a mission like described here. So this is 2553 at the earliest. I'm also doubting that this is set after Halo 5, but that's just my gut feeling, no way to know for sure. From the sound of a lost human settlement, the planet seems like it would be a formerly glassed colony, occupied by Covenant unaware of the end of the war, or a Covenant remnant faction, depending on when this is set. The latter is far more likely, but I'd like to think the former is possible. Whether there's an actual human presence beyond this rogue scientist is hard to say, but I wouldn't be surprised if there were. Speaking of the scientist, I'll be curious to see why exactly he's on the run. With so little information, it's impossible to speculate, but I do have to wonder how directly this will play into the comic's plot. Will he be a MacGuffin to let the writer explore Linda as a character, or will him being on the run, or the reason he's on the run, be central to the comic? We'll see. Moving on, let's talk about that Oni AI. We seem to see him on the cover down here, and he looks like he takes on the appearance of a musketeer. I really hope that's what the artist is going for, and I really want the writer to take full advantage of it if that's the case. Incidentally, this comic will mark Kelly-087 as the only member of Blue Team that has not worked with an AI. She stated she hadn't in Halo 5, and Fred worked with a dumb AI in Halo Retribution. It'll be interesting to see how, if at all, Linda working with an AI affects her. It took some adjustment for the Chief, and Fred definitely wasn't a fan, as I recall. Finally, let's talk about the people behind the comic. The cover art is being supplied by Christian Ward and speaks for itself. The actual comic art will be provided by 2 artists. First is Kieran McKeown, an Irish artist who I had some serious trouble finding previous work for. Thankfully, Polly P. Master on Reddit found a post from Kieran a while back, and as you can see, I think we have a lot to look forward to on the art front. I've left a link to the post with the art in the description box below. The second artist is JL Straw, whose work has been much easier to find as they actually have a DeviantArt page, which is also linked below. It's not clear if one is doing pencils and the other inking, or if they're going to be alternating issues, both providing art, or what. The article from comicbook.com just says, art provided by. I would guess that Kieran is providing pencils and Straw the inking, as colors will be done by Dan Jackson. So you'd have penciler, inker, colorer. But I digress. The aforementioned Mr. Jackson has done work on Buffy the Vampire Slayer comics and Call of Duty Zombie comics, both of which are very well done, so basically when it comes to visuals, I think we're pretty solid. Writing will be done by Ann Toole, a video game veteran who has written for several games including Horizon Zero Dawn and The Witcher. Once again, I think we're solid on this front. The first issue of Halo Lone Wolf will release on January 2nd in 2019. No word as of yet on how many issues, but I'm personally hoping for 4 or 5 to really give Linda the story she deserves. But now I pass it on to you. What do you think of this announcement? Excited to get a Linda-centric story? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about Linda's history prior to Halo 5, I made a complete profile on her back in 2015, link in the card at the top right and in the description box. Thanks for watching, look forward to some non-news videos soon, and until then, this has been Halo Canon. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, and if you really love me, hit that notification bell and leave a thumbs up. These both really help out the channel. I wouldn't be where I am now without your views and support, so once again, thank you. Keep on being awesome, Canonites.